Welcome back to my channel. I've missed you guys so much. It's been a couple of weeks. I've got a lot to update you guys on. A lot has happened, and that's why I'm making this video, obviously, if you guys couldn't tell by the title. Before we get started, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to the Sage family. I cannot believe, and I know the number is not even huge, but to me it's really something. I can't believe that we have 69 members in our family. It's surreal, and I want to thank each and every one of you for being here with me, for being a part of my little family. I'm so grateful. If you guys haven't already done so, please click the subscribe button and consider joining the family. I'd love to have you here. Yeah, I'm really excited. So I just wanted to say thank you before we get started on the video. Okay, so a lot has happened. If you guys didn't, read the title when you guys clicked, I had my appendix removed. I had an appendectomy done. It was a very painful experience, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. It's been a little bit over a week since I've had the surgery. So I'm making this video not only for myself as kind of like a video log, to remind myself of, my, experience in life, but also for those of you who maybe are currently in the hospital, or you guys aren't sure if you guys have appendix issues, how to best recover, what tips I have for you guys. I am still myself recovering, but these are things and tips that I have for you. So, if you guys get out of surgery and are watching, you might have a little bit more insight on what is helpful versus what isn't. So last Saturday I actually went to go see my mom. She's leaving for Korea for about a month, so I wanted to see her before she left. Everything was fine. Last Saturday, it was a normal day. I went to volunteer. Every Saturday I volunteer in the mornings. And then I came home. I had a late lunch at Olive Garden. I didn't have anything extraordinarily, out of my range of what I normally eat. I just had spaghetti with breadsticks. Delicious, by the way, but I'm a little bit traumatized now, so I'll now get into that. But yeah, and then I left to go see my mom. She lives about 2.5 hours away from me, so it was quite a journey. Got home, was just on the computer reading some books, not doing anything strenuous or anything like that. And around 9:30 p.m. my stomach started hurting. And when I mean it was hurting, it's like I have never in my life felt pain like that before. I didn't know what was going on. Now I'm very tolerant to pain. It's not like I'm sensitive to pain. I'm very, I don't want to say well equipped, but I deal with pain really well. So my stomach started hurting. I didn't know what was going on. I put a hot pack on my stomach thinking maybe it was like near the time of the month. So maybe I was like having abnormally difficult cramps. And it was hurting kind of, like right where your rib cage starts, like in the middle. Like, so if you were to go down here, like right between your breastplate, is that what you would call it? I don't know. In this area right here, it was hurting super bad. I was sweating. I couldn't think. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, maybe I got food poisoning, but I've had food poisoning before, so I know it wasn't that. So I just kept drinking water. I boiled some hot water thinking maybe there's I have indigestion, so I just need to get whatever food is stuck down. That wasn't helping. So hours passed by. And then finally around 4:30 a.m. I give up because I didn't tell my mom, one, because I'm a grown woman, I should be able to figure out, you know, how to treat my own bodily pain at this point. And two, because, you know, my mom works hard. I'm not, like, I know I'm there visiting on the weekend, but I don't want to, like, wake her up for, like, you know, for an unnecessary thing. But around 4:30 a.m. I couldn't take it anymore, so I woke up my mom. She had suggested, she's been a nurse for about 40 years, so she suggested that I could just be indigestion. Sorry, water break. So I'm like, okay, that's weird, but okay. And by 5:30, I was literally tumbling around in bed, drenched in sweat, couldn't talk, violently vomiting. So my mom's like, this is not normal, we need to take you to the ER. So I'm like, yeah, I think I need to go. And mind you, I hate hospitals. I'm not a fan, so I was avoiding going to the hospital at all costs. But eventually I gave in, I caved. I was like, I need to see somebody about this, and I need to figure out what's going on with my body. Like, I was getting scared. So we drive to the hospital, which is about 25 minutes away. And I check in. I can barely breathe because I'm like trying to stop myself from vomiting. They finally call me in around the back, get my blood pressure, you know, ask me, you know, questions, basic questions about what's going on. Then they get me checked in. I go in, I get into a bed, and they put an IV in. Mind you, I had told the nurse I have extremely small veins. So the normal size, you know, needle that most people would work on most people doesn't work on me because my veins are really, really small. I'm just an all-around, you know, petite, small person, and my veins are no exclusion to that. Like, my veins are very, very small, and anytime I've ever had to have blood drawn, you know, whatever technician or nurse was doing that had always used a butterfly needle. So I told them that, you know, that is probably the reason why. And the nurse was like, you know, he started like tapping on here, saying like, no, it's just because you're dehydrated because you've been vomiting. I was like, okay, whatever. And then he's like, I'm gonna go get a smaller needle like you suggested. So I said, okay, thank you. So he goes around, he checks this arm. Just trying to see if I still have bruising. So then eventually he finds like a vein, I guess, that he could use. And he sticks in the needle, and I'm like, ow, and then, you know, blood is coming out, and he's like, see, I told you didn't need a butterfly needle. He's like, I used the biggest needle we had, and you're fine. And I'm like, oh. At this point, I'm like, that is so rude, that was so unnecessary to just try and prove your point, to cause and inflict more pain, but whatever. So then, he draws the blood, and then he puts in an IV, like a solution bag, to rehydrate my body, and also like a Tylenol bag, like a liquid Tylenol bag, to try and relieve some of the pain. The doctor comes in and suggests that I had food poisoning. And I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's not food poisoning, but we'll go with it. And he's like, but I want to be sure, so I'm gonna go ahead and test your blood for like possible other issues. I'm rolling around in pain. I can't sleep because I'm in so much pain. I'm so tired. And then he comes back eventually after like an hour. He's like, oh, you know, we ran your blood test and you're fine. It's just as I suspected. It's food poisoning. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I have had food poisoning and it doesn't feel like this. I'm very aware of my body. I know what my body feels like, what happens with different types of illnesses. This doesn't feel like food poisoning, and I still have a lot of pain right here, where I pointed to earlier. And he's like, you'll be fine by the end of the day. You know, you should be relieved of your pain and you'll be fine. So he discharges me, and my mom is like, are you sure you want to discharge my daughter? Because I also don't feel like it's food poisoning. And the doctor's kind of dismissing us, saying like, you know, no, it's food poisoning and I'm the doctor, yada yada. So then I go home and I I didn't even need to vomit anymore, but I think just I felt like there was so much pain here and there was something stuck. I just tried to force myself to vomit to get whatever out I needed. And the pain started to get really, really, really bad. I was not crying, but I was kind of hunched over in the bathroom like in a ball. And my mom was like, what's going on? And I'm like, this pain, this is not food poisoning. And my mom's like, well, the doctor discharged you and said it's food poisoning. It seems kind of odd, but like, what are we gonna do? And I just keep like wincing in pain. And she's like, no, we have to go back to the ER. This isn't right. You don't have food poisoning. She drives me back. I am like trying to take deep breaths to try and calm down my nerves, to try and alleviate some of this pain. And right when I get to the hospital, I literally throw my hospital card on the front desk, and I run into the bathroom to vomit. And then I come out and my mom's like, I heard my mom speaking on my behalf, telling them what was wrong with me. And they eventually bring me back in, and then a nurse comes in and she draws blood on this side, because this side had like an hour prior been I was using this arm prior, so that's why she used this one. And it took forever to see a doctor. It felt like forever. It was probably like 40 minutes. And my mom kept asking, when can my daughter be seen? Can we get her anything to comfort her? And they kind of just kept dismissing me and saying, we have to wait for the doctor, we have to wait for the doctor. And my mom's like, okay, but a doctor's not coming, so we gotta do something. And the nurses were really rude. They were kind of like dismissing my mom, and my mom was being really patient. I couldn't talk because I was in so much pain. And then eventually a doctor came, and the doctor came in and she kind of pressed around my belly area, asked where I had the most pain. And she said that she was going to have some morphine sent over and also a saline bag to hydrate me. So, yeah. So eventually they put in the morphine, and they explained to me what would happen because I've never had morphine before. And I felt a little woozy. I didn't exactly feel the things that they told me I would feel, but yeah, the pain was still there. I could definitely still feel the pain, but I think I couldn't figure out where to place my attention, because I'm so sleepy because of the morphine, and I'm so like, ugh. But I also feel this pain, and my brain's kind of like, which do I pay attention to? And then I went in for a CT scan, which was a whole new experience. I've never had a CT scan before. And then I came out, and then they brought me back upstairs. And then I started to get really cold, and I was shaking really badly. I felt like I was like experiencing hypothermia. Like I was like shaking like uncontrollably. I was so cold. I kept like chattering my teeth, and I was like, Mom, I'm so cold, I'm so cold. And she covered me with all the blankets they gave me, with both of our jackets. And my mom calls over the nurse, and she's like, can you please help my daughter? Like, do something. Like, her blood pressure is spiking and she's in a lot of pain. And my mom's a really educated person. She's been working in a hospital as a nurse in a high position for 40 years. So it's not like she's stupid and she doesn't know what she's talking about. The nurse literally looks at me and looks at my mom and goes, ma'am, I see her. And my mom's like, okay, so can you do something? And the nurse is just like I told you, I see her, just like that. And my mom then starts to argue with her, saying, I've been a nurse for 40 years, I've never seen such a lack of patient care. And the nurse is just, giving attitude back to my mom, and eventually they put more morphine in me to, bring my blood pressure back down and to alleviate some of the pain. Then the doctor comes down and says, yeah, so you have appendicitis. And I'm like, what? Because I'm like still like drugged. up from all of the pain medication, the antibiotics, everything. And she's like, yeah, you know, usually we don't recommend CT scan because you are very young, but you know, I had a feeling something was going on down there, and you unfortunately have appendicitis. Right then, the first doctor that had discharged me passes by and sees me and my mom and like has this look of shame and like walks away, and I'm like, wow. You know, if he had just taken the time to look a little bit deeper like this doctor had, I would have understood what was going on hours prior to this, but it is what it is. But yeah, so she says that she's gonna call a surgeon down to talk to me, and I'm like, oh my god, I knew that I didn't have food poisoning. The surgeon eventually comes down and explains to me that, you know, I'm really lucky because luckily it was caught before it burst and the infection spread and before I turned septic. So, which would have cost me to stay in the hospital for a very long time. So, yeah, so then he basically says, you know, it is Sunday, it is everybody's day off, so we're gonna have to call our team to come in for you, so it might be a couple of hours. And at that point I was like, what the hell is going on? I'm so confused. How does this even happen? You know, like there were no signs. And he explained to me that with some people what happens is you experience a little bit of pain little by little, right? And what most people do is they ignore that pain. But for myself, I kind of experienced all of that pain collectively at one time, which is why I was experiencing so much pain. So then the anesthesiologist finally comes down and says, you know, we've called the team, they're on their way. Have you ever had surgery done before? You know, he told me what things to expect. How there are risks with every surgery, obviously. No surgery is without any risk. And so, yeah, so then I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm aware of the risks, whatever. So eventually the time comes and I make my calls. I call my sister. I'm like, hey, she's in New York. I'm like, by the way, I'm getting surgery. Sorry if I sound groggy. I'm like so high on medication right now. I don't know what's going on. All I know is I'm getting surgery. I don't know how I got to this point. All I did was eat Olive Garden, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm in the hospital and apparently I have appendicitis. You know, and then they take me upstairs, they prepare me, you know, give me my gown, tell me to put my hair up. The surgeon, she was so amazing. So Dr. Fo Parker and Kaiser in Woodland Hills, thank you so much. You are so professional. Your level of professionalism is profound. I'm so grateful that you were my surgeon. Thank you for taking such good care of me. But anyway, so yeah, so she comes down and she basically tells me, you know, what's gonna happen, what to expect, and I'm not scared. I'm just kind of excited because I just want to get this out. And on top of that, I just want to drink water. I have been without water since 8 a.m. that morning. At that point, it was around like 2:30, 3 p.m. I was so thirsty, and I understand that the saline bag was there to hydrate me, but it's not the same as having a drink of water. And I was just like, I don't care what I have to go through at this point. I just want water, and whatever will get me to that point, I'll do it. So I was excited for the surgery. Yeah, so then I go into surgery and the anesthesiologist basically has a mask over my face and tells me to breathe in deeply, and I'm guessing that's when I knocked out. Prior to that they had put me on the table, and then, you know, he gas masked me. And then I come out of surgery, and so basically the way that they had removed my appendix was laparoscopically. They had created 3 small incisions, which I'll show you now. So here is my first incision right here, and then down here, And then the other one's a little bit lower, and I'm not going to show you guys that. But so those are my incision marks. So she had informed me that, you know, there would be a couple of incisions. Why is this not clear? She had informed me that, you know, there would be a couple of marks, but the incision marks are gonna be really small, so, you know, don't be afraid of, you know, like there being this huge ugly scar mark. But oh yes, laundry's done. But yeah, so she had told me about all that. So I come out, I'm like, what? I'm all like woozy, and then yeah, so then my mom had gotten my medication while I was in surgery, and then it's time to go home. So now I'll get into the recovery part and my tips for recovery. My number one tip is for the first couple of days to have somebody there with you. It is extremely painful for the first couple of days to move around, and you shouldn't be putting a lot of pressure or any pressure at all in your mid area while it's healing. So have somebody there with you, whether it's a friend, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a family member, whoever, to be there to help you get up out of bed, to help you out of a chair, to you know, help you with things around the house. Like if you want to cook and you need to be leaning over, all those things, just have somebody there with you to help you. You shouldn't be moving around a lot. That is a mistake that I've been making and I need to fix. It's just really hard for me to stay still. But what helped me was having my mom for the first week of recovery, just staying at my mom's and having her help me get up, help prepare food for me. You can't really move around a lot. It really hurts. You shouldn't be putting any stress on your midriff, mid area. Shouldn't be working out. You shouldn't be moving around too much. No alcohol or caffeine the first 48 hours after surgery. A very light diet. I had just broth. I just had seaweed broth and pumpkin soup. That's all I had for the first 2 days with like water. But yeah, always have somebody there with you to help you do the little things that normally you wouldn't need assistance with. Number 2 is allow your body to rest. I think at this day and age, we're so used to like moving around so much and having to get so much done in our day that we forget what it's like to just relax. This time after the surgery, your doctor will give you a note to remove you from work for however much time. I've, you know, got a note for a week of no work, and even that was even with just a job that I just sit and I'm like on a computer. And even after the fact, for another 3 weeks, I'm not allowed to move, bend over, carry things, anything above a couple of pounds. And your doctor's note will have all of that written down, and it basically says if she or he cannot be exempted from this, then they can't come to work, and you can't strike any negative points against them for that. So use this time to relax. Your body needs to heal. You need to sleep a lot, drink a lot of water, flush out your body, eat really healthy. You're not going to be able to work out you're not going to be able to lift weights, like any workout like that. You're not going to be able to do that for about a month. So you need to be eating healthier to try and maintain your weight and, you know, just to be healthy. And then also my third tip would be to just have things to keep you busy. Not physically busy, but just things to entertain you. Take the time to read, you know, maybe you know, books that you weren't able to read because you didn't have the time. Now is the time to do that. You know, watch TV, catch up on your Netflix shows. have fun, talk to your friends, catch up, things like that. Have them come over to visit you if need be. But yeah, just take this time to enjoy yourself, but don't stress out your body like I said. I did a lot of online shopping during my first week of recovery. It's only been about a week and a half, but the first couple of days after surgery, when I like literally couldn't do anything, there's gonna be a lot of hauls to come because I did quite a bit of shopping. But yeah, so it's not painless, but it's not the worst surgery that you could go through. Just make sure to take care of yourself, have somebody there, like I said, to assist you, and eventually you will feel better. You'll be able to move around. I am, you know, in the process now of, you know, there's still pain. Like when I get up, it's hard for me to kind of sleep on my side. I'm obviously not working out like that. I'm just taking light walks. Yesterday was my first day back at work, so I'm taking it slow. But yeah, it's crazy. I had surgery like a week ago, and here I am making a video. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video for you guys, just in case there are any of you guys out there that are curious as to what the recovery is like, what to expect. As you guys saw, my incision marks aren't that big. The surgery lasts for about anywhere from 30 minutes to about an hour, so it's not a really long surgery. So you'll be in and out within a couple of hours, I think. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, I am totally available. Please feel free to ask me any questions or concerns that you guys might have. Once again, I want to thank my little family here on YouTube for being so supportive and for being here with me on this little journey. If you guys haven't done so already, please click that subscribe button and join the Sage family. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you soon.